My name is Pim Bultman. I'm responsible for the European business unit with an insight around hosting solutions. So we have around 60 people, 55 people at this stage around EMEA that support the SPLA and hosting channels, so companies like yourself. So we support around 3,000 hosters across the region. If you take the US on board as well, it's about 4,500 to 5,000 that we support. So 1/3, as Matt mentioned, of the hosters that we manage. And basically since day one, or basically since 2008 or 7, or I don't know when they started doing their own cloud things, we've been trying to get that status on your behalf. Because when we spoke to you, and I'd like to ask a question again, when we spoke to you in the past, you always said, you know, we like it, but we don't know the billing relationship. And that makes us, well, it makes it difficult for us to push partners towards our customers towards that area. So if you look into the changes in the market so far, and I'm using exactly one of the slides that Rob has presented earlier today from the 4for1 research that Microsoft has presented during Hosting Summit earlier this year. And again, if you like to have all the 80 pages, just let us know. We'll be more than happy to share it with you. It's the change in the cloud market, so it's the change in your market. And what we see there is that in the past, the last perhaps decade or so, your customers have looked into disruptive innovation. So basically we have the server underneath my desk that's a bit old, but it's there, and I can put a disk in it, and I can put a disk out of it, and I've got my backup. And then you came in and said, well, we have a hosting solution for you. You can go to the internet, and then this magic cloud, and we'll get it somewhere in our servers, in our protected data center. So that was fun for them. But at this stage, we're moving into 2.0. So most of the partners that you've seen know what cloud is. They know that it will be a part of their business. And they'd like you to understand from you how you're going to help them differentiate. So instead of they're along for the ride, they don't know too much, you can tell them anything, or well, it's a bit overrated, but we're moving into where the customers are in the driver's seat. So they determine what they want. They heard something about Office 365, they learn about a certain pricing, they learn about a certain offering or a feature within Azure that might not be available in your data center, but is available in Azure. I think Power BI is one of those things. And then of course you as a hoster, as a service provider, wants to help them. So you want to help them get into that market and still own that relationship. And the CSP program is exactly doing that. I won't go into this one. I didn't know Rob was using the same slide, but he was earlier, so that's the advantage of being a bit earlier. So there's a lot of you around, and this is not our features, this is the data from this agency that are looking into using a third party. So basically partnering with other hosters in this market space. And I think it's a feature we've already seen in the past years. A lot of your, perhaps you in the room, but also your bigger competitors are fusing together. They're doing merger acquisitions all the time. So they're moving into this larger environment, and they're using third parties as well to fuel their engine. So we just came back last week from the Hosting Rally, which is an annual event we have as Insight. So we had all the people together in Zandvoort aan Zee. So it was a bit rubbish weather, but you know, it was okay. Get people in and keep them awake for 10 hours. And we had this as a theme, and we said, no, Star Wars, it's actually, we've been in this market for such a long time. We started SPLA back in 2001 together with Microsoft, and HP was our competitor by then. And you know, now everybody starts to talk about cloud, and as Matt mentioned, he said SPLA was cloud before cloud was cool. Yep. I think you need to change it now, but it's still, you know, it's still valid. But looking into it, you as well have been in this market space for such a long time. So whilst our customers are looking into what cloud is and how can it benefit me, you're actually one step beyond. You're in the Star Wars, you're beyond the clouds. You're actually battling each other, battling Amazons, battling all the other large players in this market. And the Force Awakens, well, there's partners that have, or certain of your competitors that have money, that have their own IP, that have their own hardware. Looking at HP with their own cloud solution, looking at Microsoft with Azure, looking into Rackspace. So the big ones are awakening, and perhaps some of them are also here in the room, I don't know. But it means that you need to find your place in this arena. So yeah, this is, you already gave away my joke, but who still remembers this one? Hands, please. Yes. So who of you, and that's just an open question, there's no joke behind it, but who of you thought when this came out, well, that looks nice, I would like to do this, but I want to own the billing relationship? That's still a few. And who thought this is rubbish, I'll do better? Nobody. Okay, that's So I looked it up. It's 2008 when this came out. So that's seven years ago. And it's been taking us 7 years, and you know, we have a good relationship with Microsoft. We talk to a lot of people in higher levels as well. And even though we tried very, very hard, it took us 7 years to get to the stage we're in today. Having the ability to let you actually sell and own the billing relationship with your customers. So looking into the whole Star Wars theme, how can you join this force? How can you benefit from the marketing investments, the resource investments, and everything else that Microsoft is putting into this and contributing to your business? I've also had some steps. So we'll put all the slides together and you'll have one step plan, I guarantee you that. But the first one is contact your reps at Insight. And there's some in the room today. If you could stand up and wave. So talk to Insight. You might know them already. If not, then try to connect to them. Discuss this, because it might not be an interesting scenario for you as well. You know, there's 63% that is. So the other, well, 37% would like to stay with their own business. So it might not be the perfect setting for what you would like to achieve. Discuss the scenarios with them and see if this would fit your profile, if this would fit your future image of what you want to achieve. And also look into the opportunities how to differentiate, as Sarah just mentioned as well. Hybrid scenarios, and that's a bit of our thing. We're licensing geeks. So we can tell you all about these hybrid scenarios, and Jurgen will talk a bit later about this as well. We saved it as the last presentation just before lunch. So you'll all be completely psyched to go to lunch eventually. So good luck. And we'll tell you more about the details of the program, what the pricing is and how it can, well, help your business. So this one's a familiar picture, of course. This is the agreement that you can sign with Insight. We'll send it to you. It's just a piece of paper, unfortunately, still. Then you have the agreements with your customer. And this is the famous MCA that Sarah was referring to. So this is the Microsoft Cloud Agreement. The only thing you need to do there is make sure that these terms and conditions are embedded into your terms and conditions to your customers. So we have this in all languages. We'll send it to you, and that's your obligation, as well as the MPN ID, which you will probably already have if you have a SPLA agreement, or you will have if you have a SPLA agreement. Next thing is select the subscriptions you need. You've seen the whole price list, or you've seen the whole SKU list, and that will be changing ever since. Enterprise Mobility Suite has just been added. E4, which is not in this overview, has been added for June. So there's more and more products being added to this stack. So the prices are available in all local currencies. So Euro, GBP, Swedish krona, Norwegian krona, Danish krona, and Swiss francs. It's based on the region that you're in. So if you want to do pounds today, won't be possible. You go for euros because we're in the Netherlands. But if you have customers in the UK, we might be able to use that. More and more products are expected, as mentioned, Azure, CRM Online. There's no fixed dates for as far as I'm aware. There's a lot of gossip and a lot of rumors, but let's not go into detail on that. But I think WPC will be a very nice moment of certain launch dates. At this stage, it's only corporate pricing for the people that know SPLA. In the future, first will be government pricing, so you can have a different pricing for your government customers. And there's talk about corporate and academic pricing as well. So not today, will be in the future. This is one of the changes that we're expecting. So looking into the pricing, because I know there's people making photos of this, but you'll get the prices if you ask for this. You can see that the pricing, and this is a pound example, there's an MSRP, which is a list price, and there's your buy price. The list price is actually linked to the Microsoft Online price. So if your customer will go online and sign this directly with Microsoft and do the annual commit, so not a month, but just the annual commit, it will be the same as the list price. And your price obviously will be lower, and your value will be higher. So how you define that, how you build it is of course up to you. If you want to give that margin back to the customer, or if you want to keep it, offer it as a list and add your value to this. But that's all about the whole hero offering as Microsoft would define it. And then step 4, and this is, it looks pretty, but it's still a web form based. So we have a CSP order tool, which is available for all our partners that sign up, which is basically a web form where you can fill in any additional users, any changes in subscriptions, any new customers, and so forth. So it's there for this stage, because as mentioned, we're working with Microsoft on the forefront on API enablement. We're part of the API tab, so the technology assessment partners. So we're working in a very small group of partners to make sure that we have the APIs available. That means that you can automate it, manage everything yourself, because that's key in order to upskill. So today you can already start. We already have about 2,000 seats live, about 56 different customers, about 33 resellers live that are using this today. So you can do it, but make sure that you understand it will mean you go into web form and key in what you need for a certain customer. But you can do any mutations there as well. So this is there for now, and again, I'll show you the portal that we have for managing this, which is an automated portal based on PowerShells and getting the data out of your Office 365 accounts. And with them, we're working on making sure that we can also enable the APIs. Schedule is to have that after summer, so July, August timeframe. So until that time, it's this. We're planning to have that available by that timeframe. And then, of course, you will receive a monthly invoice. So you have users set up online, and of course, eventually you need to pay. And this is one of the things I wanted to really put some time in to make sure you understand how the business model works, because it's different from SPLA. All of you know SPLA, I would assume? Yes. So SPLA is you use it. At the end of the month, you check what you've used, you report that usage to Insight, and we report it to Microsoft. That's SPLA. CSP is different. Let's say today is the 1st of the month. Our measuring days is the 4th of the month. So let's say you start today. You get 3 days for free, and then we check your existing usage online. So smart people would say, what about if I start the 5th? Even better. It means that you will not pay anything until the 4th of July. Which again is another public holiday. So you'll be Independence Day until the 4th of July. I'll use that for the next one. So looking into it, it basically means until the bill date, which is the 4th of every month, it will be free of charge. As soon as it's the billing date, there will be a measurement of the number of seats, and you'll get a pre-charge or an advanced charge. And I know it's a bit of an eye chart, but basically if you have a $10 per month per subscription fee, it means that if you have 15 seats, you'll pay $150 for that month. That's your prior charge. If during that month you'll start with 15, go down to 12, go up to 18, and then go down to 10, there'll be discrepancies. In arrears, it will be checked if you've actually used $150 or if you used more or less. If it's less, you get a credit. If you use more, you get a debit. You get an incremental invoice. So it's based here, and it's a very small one. It's based on the number of days for that month. So let's say it's $10. The month is 31 days. It means it's virtually 32 cents per day. So in this situation, you have used 5 days of 32 cents times 15 seats is amount X. Here it's 12 seats times 11 days, and so forth and so forth. So in this case, you've actually used less than what you paid for here. So you'll get a credit. It means that at this stage, again, the 4th of, in this case, April, we'll review how many seats you have, which is 10. You get a pre-charge or advanced charge of $10 times 10 seats is 100. And you get the discount because you have not used your whole $150 of commit. So just an example for an increased use, and this is what we've talked about, the pricing. So let's say you go from 15 seats to 20 seats. Here will be the advanced charge for 15 seats. There will be 5 seats here on the July 19th, and there's no change on August. So it means that you've paid a certain amount, so $150. You should have been paying $174.5. So the discrepancy, the $24, will be added to the new prior charge. The same goes for a decrease of seats. You go from 15 to 10. So you've paid $150. You actually should have been paying $123. So you get a discount on the next bill. The new bill will be $100 because you have 10 seats for $10. So that means in total you'll be invoiced for $73. It took me 2 weeks to understand it, but So the billing structure, new subscriptions are free up till the 4th of the month, so that's new subscriptions, that's not new users. Pricing is fixed for the duration of the subscription, so let's say you start today with a subscription E3, then you're able to get that price until till 12 months after it started, even if there's an increase. Subscriptions start when activated, as mentioned, and you'll be invoiced once per month. So how we will support you? We will support you with second-line tech support. We'll support you in training and education. We've launched the CSP Bootcamp. I've got some nice screenshots on those, which you can use to train your staff, to train yourself on Azure, on Office 365, on the program, and so forth. We have tooling and management capabilities. We have the CSP dashboard, which I'll show some brief screenshots as well, which will give you the ability not only to see what you've procured, but also see what you've been deploying and how your customer have been using this. So it's great that they have an E3, but if they don't use Link and SharePoint, you're paying too much. So you'll have that visibility in our tool. It's based on PowerShell, so it will gather the data from Office Admin Center, but I'll show this briefly. It's differentiating third-party solutions, so we have discussions with the party that is able to offer enterprise link, so voice over IP part, that's not integrated in Office 365. So it means it's an additional SKU on top of E3, which gives you the ability to do enterprise voice. And there's more of those. We have discussions with BitTitan and Skykick around migration tooling and so forth. We have white-labeled enablement services, so cloud enablement services on which the next speaker through Link, if Link works properly, will tell you more about. We'll help you guide you through the whole hybrid licensing maze because although it should have been simpler with all the SPLA, end customer licensing, CSP and everything else, the licensing has some perks, but also some challenges. So we'll briefly touch base on that, but we'll happily guide you through all the scenarios. And we'll support you with the centralizing of multi-channel customers. So if they have open license, we'll help you with the process that Sarah has just described. As mentioned, tech support, if the customer goes to Microsoft, they'll reroute you to us or to you. First line support is with you, second line with Insight, and third line with Microsoft. So just a brief overview of the CSP Bootcamp. So this is available today. We can share you the link and you can follow the training already today. Start training your staff. There's a lot of features in there. There's all the training available. You can see how many users there are within your group that have met certain criteria, that have met certain thresholds, and I'll also change the logo there, Matt. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting news and there. So just an overview of the training available. We'll share with you the slide packs. This is the CSP dashboard, which is our, again, logo. But we've had this already. So this is a CSP dashboard which gives you the ability to see all your usage. And actually I wanted to spend more time on this, but yeah, time is always a challenging one. You can see there's 80 different reports here where you can manage your users, manage your subscriptions. You can see for each tenant, and that's over here. You can see for each tenant you manage, each customer, how many subscriptions they have. You can switch between them. You can see which users there are. You can see how much they've procured and how much they're actually using. So it's a lot of really enabling your solutions. So you can go to your customers proactively and advise them on what they need to use. Tell them that they haven't used OneDrive or haven't consumed their Link or SharePoint. So these are just some examples of the live reports that are available. Alternatively, I would have done a live demo, but in 2 minutes, that's not a lot of fun. So there's OneDrive dashboards on the capacity, who is using what, who is already at a certain threshold. So you can go back to your customer in time and tell them your box is almost full. So you need to add some more storage there. So another thing this tool will help you on. You can go into an individual level with your customer, with your client even, and see which profile is using Exchange, which browsers he's using. There's just too much to go through now. So the user overview, you can see the storage box, how much quota is using. So it's a multi-tenant platform, improves your ROI, and you can see the left, and again it's an eye chart. You can see the information and the reports that this tool will offer you compared to what Office Admin Center is offering you currently. So it really gives you the ability to build and differentiate compared to your peers in the industry. And as mentioned, to follow is the provisioning of subscriptions. So in summary, it's not SPLA. It's a managed service provider program that helps you enable Microsoft Cloud and get their strength and add it to your specific USP. So you're a host, you have your relationships. This program gives you the ability to really use that at its maximum. It's a flexible model. First line technical support is provided by you. Insight will do the second. And next to that, of course, Insight will help you with the tooling, with the management of it. It will help you with training education. It will help you with all the things I've just mentioned, cloud enablement, and also guiding you through everything that has to do with licensing. So the call to action is, as mentioned at the beginning, ask yourself what you're going to do in the future. How will your organization play a role into this? And well, contact Insight. We're here. Contact Insight if you're back home and have thought about it. And if not, we'll contact you, of course, to see what your thoughts are, to have that discussion. Because in the end, we want to help you there. And just a famous quote from Chewbacca to stay a bit into the theme. May the cloud be with you. Thank you.